All right, welcome to Target 43. Target 43 is factoring polynomials greater than degree 2 without a calculator. In order for this to work, you're going to have to factor. Factoring means it divides in evenly. The only way to get this to work, if you're going to go through and do like a synthetic division where you put the root here and then you divide it all out, because our number is 1, -7, -1, and 7, and I bring down the 1 and I'm going to work through this, is I need a number that divides in evenly to this. To find that number, there is a property that states that you need to take all the combinations of positives and negatives that multiply to that last number. So all the combinations or factors that multiply to 7 are all of those numbers, like I could do 7, -7, 1, and -1. Oops, -1. And those are the four numbers that would be possible that I could use. So 7, -7, 1, and -1, and then any combination of those might multiply to make this actually work. Also now, the little twist on this would be, well, what if there was a number out front? If there was a number out front, a leading a value, you would not only have to take all of these, but then also divide them by the a value plus and minus, and then come up with some more possible choices. Right now we're dealing with leading ones, and we have this number back here, so we can calculate our choices based on basically just taking the pluses and minuses of each of those. So I'll just take 7 because that was a choice. I'm going to pick 7 and just hope for the best. So then I bring down the 1, 7 times 1 is 7, add I get 0, 7 times 0 is 0, add I get -1, 7 times that is -7, in my remainder box I have 0. So that means this was an x cubed question. Now I just knocked it down a notch to an x squared. So then I've got x squared plus 0x minus 1. And with this, I need to factor that, or I can find the roots and then use that to build my factors. But I've got x squared minus 1. Well, that's the difference of squares property. So the difference of squares property is going to tell me that that's going to factor into x plus 1 and x minus 1 as the other two roots. So this would be x minus 1 right here. And then this tells me I can bring down a factor of x minus 7 because 7 was the one that worked. So what I was able to do then was I was able to factor that whole polynomial from this form by guessing a root number based on the positive and negative multiples or the factors of what goes into 7, and then I get this. Now, if this last number was even, like if this last number was 8, if this ended in 8, you have to think of all the possible numbers that are combinations of that divide evenly into 8. So that would be a positive and -1, it would be a positive and -2, it would be a positive and -4, and a positive and -8. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 different choices if that thing ends in an 8. Alright, we got lucky on this one because it ended in a 7, and therefore there's only 7 being a prime number, there's only these 4 choices. So that's what you need to know to be able to do that. And then it is a factoring activity, so you should end up with the factors. If you end up finding all of the roots, you can turn them into factors by just doing that trick of the opposites, and then you could write them as factors.